In this 3-part series, Age, Wisdom, and the Power of Not Giving a Shit, we're digging into the real reasons so many women over 40 still feel stuck when it comes to our bodies. We'll learn where those insecurities come from and how they've been holding us back. More importantly, we're going to learn how we can finally break free. Welcome to How to Lose the Weight, the podcast for women ready to stop waiting for someday and live life now. I'm your host, Holly Toscanini, and I'm here to help you break free from perfectionism, self-doubt, and the someday mindset. Together, we'll dive into real conversations about self-trust, empowerment, and living authentically. If you're ready to reconnect with your intuition and step into your power, you're in the right place. Let's lose the weight and start living fully right now. Hello, and welcome to How to Lose the Weight. I'm your host, Holly Toscanini. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain to help you understand where body-related insecurities come from and why they've never been about you. The problem isn't your body. It's the double standards and impossible ideals society has handed us for generations. Now, together, we'll uncover where these insecurities come from. We'll understand why they're not your fault and how you can reclaim confidence and live fully on your terms. See, for many of us, body insecurity didn't just appear one day. It was planted. Maybe it was the way magazines defined beauty, or a family member commented on your weight, or the way movie stars taught us that women are most valuable when they're young, thin, and flawless. You see, body insecurity isn't just something young women struggle with. It follows many of us into midlife and beyond. And for women in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, the feelings of never being good enough often persist. And they're compounded by the physical changes of perimenopause, menopause, and aging. Now, these natural shifts in our bodies can feel like yet another hurdle in a lifelong battle with society's expectations. Now, this 3-part series is for you, the woman who has spent decades navigating these pressures. Each episode is a journey toward reclaiming body sovereignty, rooted in the principles of How to Lose the Weight and my personal philosophy, the Manifesto for Reclaiming Body Sovereignty. I still remember the sting of being told as a very young girl that I had to shop in the husky section. I didn't really understand what that meant at the time, but I knew it was not a compliment. And I could see the look on people's faces, pity, maybe even disapproval. And I started to believe there was something wrong with me. And for years, that label clung to me like a second skin, shaping how I saw myself. I wasn't just a kid who needed clothes. I was too big. Now, that moment became the lens through which I judged everything about my body for the rest of my life. And it didn't matter what I achieved or how happy I thought I was. That feeling of being not enough was always there, whispering that I had to shrink myself, both literally and figuratively, to be worthy. And looking back now, I can see how much power I gave to other people's opinions, letting them define my worth. But here's the truth. Those messages weren't mine to carry then, and they aren't yours to carry now. See, recognizing that those messages weren't mine was a turning point. But breaking free from them didn't happen overnight. It took years of unlearning, self-reflection, and reconnecting with what truly mattered to me. And that process has shaped the foundation of the work I do today. It's why I developed my personal philosophy, which is really a set of 5 guiding principles that I believe can help women, especially in midlife, redefine their worth and reclaim their lives. Now, these principles are all about shedding the limiting beliefs we've been carrying for far too long and stepping into a life that feels authentic, empowered, and unapologetically ours. Now, at the core of my work are the 5 pillars of my personal philosophy. Now, these pillars capture what I believe about living a full, empowered life, particularly for those of us in midlife. And they serve as a roadmap for breaking free from limiting beliefs and reconnecting with our authentic selves. And they're not complicated either. Here's the 5 philosophies here, the 5 principles rather. First, midlife is a time for renewal, not resignation. See, being middle-aged isn't the end of the road. It's really a chapter of growth, intention, and a deeper connection to who you are. Number 2, your worth has nothing to do with your weight, your physical appearance, or your age. See, your value is intrinsic. It's not tied to a number on the scale, your wrinkles, or anybody else's opinion. 3, my personal favorite, Intuition is a powerful tool. See, your inner guidance system is your superpower, and it's time for you to start trusting it fully. 4, you don't have to wait for someday to live fully. So stop putting your dreams on hold. The perfect time to start living is right now. And finally, confidence comes from embracing who you are, not changing who you are. Real confidence is about celebrating and trusting yourself, not conforming to some external ideal. Now, not too long ago, last year, I think I posted a video about the importance of reclaiming body sovereignty. But I want to explain what I think body sovereignty really means. See, it's about being the CEO of your body. It's the freedom to decide how you feel about yourself, what you eat, how you move, and what feels right for you. No one else gets to make those calls. But it's also about respect. No matter your size, your shape, or ability, your body deserves dignity, not critics. See, you own your choices. You trust yourself. Then you tune out the noise of society's pressures, and you are able to unlock a profound sense of confidence. So let me share a story about my own turning point. Years ago, I stood in front of a mirror, picking apart every inch of my body. I was exhausted, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, by the constant battle to try to change myself just to measure up. And at that moment, I made a choice to stop the war with my reflection and start really listening to my body instead. Now, this shift was about more than how I saw my body. It was about reclaiming my intuition and redefining how I wanted to live my life. This isn't about loving my body. It's not even about body positivity. It's just about recognizing and acknowledging the relationship I have with my body. Here are 3 key aspects from my personal philosophy about reclaiming body sovereignty that I think is really critical to help you begin the journey. There's 3, they're important, and they're simple. Number 1, my body, my rules. You don't need permission from anyone, not your family, not media, not diet culture, to feel good in your body right now. 2, challenge the status quo. You really have to start questioning the beliefs and standards that you've been handed. I mean, are they serving you or are they holding you back? And 3, this journey is yours and yours alone. Your path to self-acceptance is personal. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's, and it doesn't need anyone's approval. This reminds us that the power lies within us, not some external expectation. And as you might guess, when we add the natural effects of aging to the whole body image situation, it just gets more complicated. Our bodies change in ways we can't control, thanks to perimenopause, menopause, and just, simply living our lives the best way we know how. We're told we need to maintain our youth in order to remain relevant, especially in the workplace. But guess what? That's just another layer of pressure that really wasn't our idea in the first place. It came from living in a patriarchal society. And as we get older, these expectations don't disappear, they multiply. Now, in the next episode, I'm going to dive deeper into how ageism targets us in midlife. But for now, it's enough to recognize that if body insecurity feels like a lifelong battle, it's because society keeps shifting the standards, always moving the goalpost. And we're left chasing these goals that don't actually make us feel fulfilled. So let's uncover where these standards even come from. I mean, for as long as I can remember, the so-called ideal body has been thin, toned, and young, and this cultural obsession has found its way into every part of our lives. And diet culture teaches us that thinness equals discipline and moral superiority, and anti-aging industries tell us that wrinkle-free skin is a ticket to staying relevant. Now, I have no problem with losing weight or with trying anti-aging products. It's just not the way to feel confident long-term. That's coming from inside. See, these ideals have been so normalized that they're now baked into everything: media, our school systems, families, and our workplaces. Think about it. 100 years ago, beauty standards might have been a little different, but the pressure was still there in just another form. See, women have always been told how they should look, how they should behave in order to fit in and be acceptable. But it's not about us. It's about a culture that finds ways to profit off our insecurities and keeping us down. See, here's the thing. These pressures don't just start with us. They're often passed down. Think about the messages you might have absorbed from your mother, your grandmother, or even other peers of women in your life. Maybe they were also caught in this web, trying to keep up with impossible standards and passing along those anxieties, even if unintentionally. This generational layer adds to the feeling that body insecurity is somehow natural or a personal failure, but it's not. It's a shared experience rooted in the same cultural standards, just recycled through generations. Now, when we start to see body insecurity as something handed down, rather than something born in us, it opens up space for compassion. This isn't a you problem, it's a them problem. Let's give ourselves permission to unlearn and redefine what beauty and worth mean on our own terms. Now, here are 3 ways to begin releasing body insecurity. First, begin by reflecting on your roots. Think back to your earliest memory of feeling insecure about your body. Where did that belief come from? When we start to identify these moments, we can begin to see body insecurity as something planted by others, not as a personal failing. Next, notice all those outside influences. Try spending a week observing the messages around you, ads, conversations, media. Label those thoughts as not mine. Start to take note of those messages that reinforce harmful standards, from ads to everyday conversations. By naming these influences, you'll start to see insecurity as something society imposes on us, not something that you've created, or definitely something that you deserve. Next, practice self-compassion. Body insecurity is a learned response, not a personal flaw. Be kind to yourself as you unlearn these harmful patterns. When we adopt a compassionate mindset, we can release shame and move toward a place of self-acceptance. Think of it this way. Our job isn't to be perfect. It's to be kind to ourselves, and that's where true freedom begins. Now, for my journalers out there, here's a question to explore. So get out your journal and ask yourself this. When did I first start feeling like my body wasn't good enough? And what messages or people influenced me? See, this exercise is about self-awareness and compassion, which are both key ingredients for creating lasting change. All right, so if you're ready to ditch those self-limiting beliefs and you're craving a life that's all about connection, empowerment, and truly understanding your body, you've been in the right place. If today's episode left you feeling inspired, then my free ebook, Unlock Your Intuition, 5 Keys to Reconnecting with Your Body, is your next step. It's your guide to breaking free and embracing a more fulfilling existence. If you want to feel connected, you'll learn how to reconnect with your body's wisdom and learn to trust your inner voice. If you're tired of dieting, you'll learn to say goodbye to restrictive diets and hello to a balanced, intuitive approach to eating. If you're seeking holistic wellness, you'll learn to integrate your mind, body, and spirit for a truly balanced life. And if you crave self-acceptance, you'll learn to embrace body neutrality and find joy in movement that feels right for you. So if you're ready for a transformation, this ebook is really your first step toward a more intuitive, connected, and fulfilling life. So download your free ebook, Unlock Your Intuition, 5 Keys to Reconnecting with Your Body. You can find it on my website, or I'll add it to the show notes. Okay, that's it for this episode, part 1. Remember, understanding the roots of insecurity is the first step toward reclaiming your power. In our next episode, Breaking Free from the Age Cage, Embracing Midlife Power and Wisdom, we'll dive into how ageism and societal standards target us in midlife and how to break free. Don't forget to use the hashtag #ReclaimingMyBody to share your reflections and insights. You can find me on Instagram at hollytoscanini.com, or you can send any comments or questions you might have about today's episode to me at holly@hollytoscanini.com. Until next time, keep embracing every part of you, and bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to How to Lose the Weight. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a conversation. And if you found value in this episode, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It really helps the show reach more women like you who are ready to step into their power. For more insights and inspiration, follow me on Instagram at Holly Toscanini or visit hollytoscanini.com. Until next time, remember, stop waiting and start living.